I'm Jennifer and this is Kate. Welcome back to our channel where today we're tackling the topic of what we are not reading. Books that are just sitting on our shelves that need to be passed on to a new home.
So some of these we're just done with. We've had them for a while and we're not going to pick them up again. Some of them were DNFs, books we did not finish, and some of them are even candidates to go in our little free library.
So we decided that Lent is a great time to do a giant book unhaul and pass these on.
We're excited to send these books on to a new home where they will hopefully be read and loved. So without any further ado, let's get to the unhauling. So we're going to start first with the books that we've either read and enjoyed but are done with, or that we have never read but we're also done with. And there are quite a few of these books, so we broke them down into categories, and we're going to start first with school books.
And we do have a box ready to go to receive the books that are unhauled so we can easily get them out the door. Okay, so the first book is Because of Winn-Dixie. We read this for school, then we listened to it as an audiobook, and then we read it again, and it's a marvelous story, but we're just done with Winn-Dixie. We're going to pass it on.
Then we have this book, Music, An Appreciation. It is a textbook, I believe, and we originally bought it so it could help me write composer reports for my piano lessons, but we never ever used this one, so it's time for it to go goodbye.
Next we have the Cliff Notes for Frankenstein, which we read as part of our British Lit course. Now I just used the Cliff Notes when I was teaching to make sure we hit all the highlights and all the themes, but now we're done, so this one has to go.
Then we have this big ACT prep book. It was given to us by a neighbor, but I don't think I'm ever going to take the ACT, at least I don't plan to, so I'm not going to keep this one.
Yeah, Kate just took the SAT, so she is done studying for a big test and doesn't even want to see the ACT book, so that's fine. And then last we have this United States Lift the Flap book, and it has all the states and capitals. It's a fun little book, and for many years my kids were really into the states and the capitals and the birds and the symbols, and so we had a lot of books like this, and I thought we had passed most of them on, but this one was a holdout, so I don't know, maybe I'll put this in our little free library. The next stack of books is books that we have read and enjoyed, but we're not planning to read them again, so we want to rehome them.
And the first one is George Washington's Socks. This is a fun time travel adventure that we listened to several years ago, but we're not going to reread it, so it gets to go.
The next one is Jan Karen's A New Song from the Mitford series, which I read and my mom's read. We've really enjoyed, and we have a lot of copies floating around. This is a duplicate that we just don't need to keep.
Then we have the Worst Case Scenario Survival Handbook. This was my brother's, but he's done with it and said we could pass it on.
Next I have just two little paperbacks that again were fun to read, Martin's Mice and The Cat Who Went to Heaven. These just need to go because no one here is planning to read them again.
And it is the same thing with this one, Return of the Killer Cat. It was great in its day, but no one's picked it up in ages.
Mitbrim Zoo is a great story by Sid Fleischman. We love his books, but this is a duplicate copy for us, so we definitely want to pass it on.
So next is this Star Wars Mad Libs book. These had a good run in our house like 3 or 4 years ago, but they have since declined in popularity. So since this one is completely blank, we're going to give it to a good home.
Same with this Search and Find picture puzzle book. This is a really cool one. Again, we had a good run with books like that here, but since this is still brand new, none of the boxes are checked, we want to make sure someone else can enjoy it.
And this one, Duct Tape Mania, also had a good run. We had a duct tape era, so no one's touched it in a very long time. That has passed, so it gets to go.
That was definitely popular. I have a lot of duct tape purses that I got for Mother's Day. It was fun, and I hope some other children can enjoy it.
So next we have some religious books that have been swept up into the book purge.
Okay, the first one is A Month of Sundays, Volume 2, by Robert Pirelli, who is Catholic and a therapist, I think. And he wrote different reflections for each Sunday of the year. And at first I was all excited about this book and I thought, oh, these are really good. But the more I read, the more some of his ideas started to make me feel a little bit uneasy. So I stopped reading it. So I'm going to pass it on. Maybe someone else will like it more.
Then we have Tom Playfair by Father Francis Finn. This one we read in middle school. We did enjoy it, but the fact of the matter is that it is falling apart. There are literally pages coming out in the middle, so this one is kind of destined for the recycling bin.
Advent Gospel Reflections by Bishop Barron. If you watched our Advent video about things that we've never done, one of the things was make it through a reflection Advent book by Bishop Barron. So another year has come and gone. I haven't made it through. I'm not keeping this one.
Then we have this Decision Point by Matthew Kelly set. This is the confirmation program, and we used it as part of our confirmation prep, but we're well past that now, so no need for it to stick around.
And another failed Advent reflection book. So this year I thought, well, I don't seem to be able to make it through Bishop Barron, so I'll try somebody else. And this was a retro 1980s edition, A Star Rising, that was donated to our church library. However, I didn't make it through this one either, and I'm not going to keep it. I'm just going to let someone else have a shot at it.
And then lastly, we have this Bible picture book. It's older, it's kind of falling apart right here, and we're not a terrible fan of the illustrations. And plus, we also have a lot of other nicer Bible picture books that we enjoy more.
Next, we have a few books that fall into the DNF category, did not finish. We started them but abandoned them because they just didn't work for us. So before we get into that, I want to know, are you a finisher? I am not a book finisher. If I don't like it or I don't think it's good or whatever, I will just abandon a book.
And I'm the same way. I will put it down if it's not working.
So let us know in the comments, are you a book finisher or are you a fair weather friend like we are to the books that you start to read?
So the first DNF book is this one, The Perfect Storm. It looks very interesting, but the further we got into it, the more we realized that it is absolutely full of really technical sailing terms and details. And as non-sailors, it kind of dragged us down. It took away some of the enjoyments from this book. So we basically abandoned ship and didn't finish it.
Another book that we did not finish, Eat This Frog. It's a book about 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. So I thought this looked really intriguing, but the more I read it, I felt a lot of it was very repetitive and it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So I moved on to the book Atomic Habits, which we'll talk about in a different video. That was a much better fit.
Then we have this one, American Story, which is heartwarming stories of different people all across the United States. And it could be really good, but it's one story after another story, and they're all heartwarming, and they kind of all sound the same. So we sort of lost interest with this book, but some people might really enjoy it.
Okay. The next one came to us from the church library, and it's called To Bear Witness That I Am the Living Son of God. And it is written, or it was associated with a lady in Conyers, Georgia, who claimed that she was having apparitions of the Blessed Mother and of Jesus. But this apparition was never approved by the Catholic Church. We don't live that far from Conyers, Georgia, but so I thought, well, I'll just check it out. But reading it, I don't know, it's not approved, and I'm not sure if this is really legit. I felt like there are just better uses for my time, so this was another abandoned book.
Then we have this one, Battlefield of the Mind for Teens. We picked this one up thinking we were going to read it for school, but we read the first chapter, we weren't in love with it, it wasn't what we hoped for, so it was another abandoned book.
And last, the verb to bird. Now, we have birders in this house. My son and my husband are avid bird watchers, and they take pictures of birds. They love birds. So I thought this would be great for them. I got it at a library sale. But it turns out that neither one of them had any interest in reading this book. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll read it, but I am not an avid birder. So while it was okay, it just didn't really grab me, and I didn't finish it, so it's going.
So now we have a stack of books that is going to go out to our little free library. Some of them are seasonal, like spring and Easter books, so we've been waiting for the right time to put them out.
A lot of these books either I bought or my mom bought so that we could put them in the free little library, but we've been holding off because if you watched our recent Little Free Library video, you know that our library that we're stewards of is in need of some painting. It needs a complete rehaul in the paint department, and we were debating on whether we wanted to do that on spring break.
But it never happened, and we have put that repaint off until sometime this summer. But we did get out there to clean the library, also in that recent video, and now we're going to make an effort to get some of these books out on the shelves.
Yeah, these have been hanging around waiting for the right time to go, and it's that time. So we'll just show you what they are just quickly. A couple of cute ones, Tabitha and the Wisdom of Solomon.
We have Audrey Bunny and A Fox Jumped Up One Winter's Night. My grandmother found this one. She's very partial to foxes.
Then we have a Disney princess book, Forever a Princess, that we just thought was so cute. This one has the Disney princesses and their horses in it, which is just so cool. So we are Disney. I will just say it, we're Disney princess fans, and so this one's got a lot of fun stuff in it, and it's going into the library.
Then we have Rabbit's Search for a Little House. We have this little golden book, The Three Little Pigs, and Waiting for Spring Stories.
Then we have There Once Was a Man Named Michael Finnegan. The illustrations are by Nadine Westcott. We really like her pictures, so we're hoping the kids will too.
And we also have a couple of books specifically for Easter. We have Llama Llama Easter Egg. We have Silly Tilly and the Easter Bunny, and How a Spider Saved Easter.
And then last we have a treasury of fables and nursery rhymes that have some really cute illustrations in there and some sweet stories. So we're hoping some of the neighborhood kids will enjoy this book. So, and then maybe some of the other books that we had, like Because of Winn-Dixie and the survival book, those could probably go in the little free library also.
All right, so clean table, cleaner shelves. That was our 40 book unhaul.
Definitely, it feels good to simplify the shelves.
So we hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.